is happening, people, and welcome back to another episode of the B.A.D podcast. Today I'm joined with, I'm going to say, like one of the biggest names on the unlicensed scene, Seamus, Devlin, man, the CELTIC COBRA. Welcome to the B.A.D podcast, bro.
Thank you, man.
I know you're in camp, so I'm not going to force drink down your neck, but we do like to start off these podcasts with a quick shot of something just to, you know, put hairs on the chest, loosen the old lips a bit.
A wee tipple will do.
A wee tipple.
Man,
but obviously we know you're in camp, so we're not going to have loads of this, bud.
I'm running 5k in 20 minutes flat, mate. I'll be sweet. I'm in good shape.
There you go, bro. Just got yourself to one of them.
Be rude not to.
And then that one's full of water for you for the rest of the podcast.
Salute.
But yeah, welcome to the B.A.D podcast, Seamus.
Not frightened. Beautiful.
Nice. Do you know which one
Beautiful.
it is? Can you tell if it's Scotch or Irish?
Do you know what? I can't tell. But I do like a Glenfiddich, mate.
Yeah.
And it was close. I felt like it was close.
That's Scotch, that, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
Yeah,
it was close to a Glenfiddich, because I like Glenfiddich, that's a nice Scotch. My missus loves that one. It was her dad's favourite as well.
I like James, as you can see over there, I've got all them limited edition bottles that have been through, but I like my Irish whiskey, me. It's just, I think it's more smoother than that. But we're not here to talk about whiskey, we're here to talk about you, bro.
Bosh.
So, I was thinking, because obviously you're here from the boxing scene, this is what we're doing, but like, do you want to talk about just before you got into boxing and how it was, and then we'll work our way through the story of Seamus?
Yeah, so the adverse points, I'm guessing we'll go to the adverse points. So, at 26 years old, I was living on my own. I remember, I think I had a friend and my brother living with me at the time. I was living on Graham Street in Padiham. And I remember I had a job, I was working at Fataba Tenaco making car parts for Toyota. And my missus at the time, I won't mention names, but missus at the time, we split up. She lost a baby, and then I ended up bad on cocaine, and I mean really, really bad.
Well, it does affect men as well, innit?
Oh, mate, 100%. But it started out with, like, you know, a couple of bags, and you're having a drink, and you're with your mates and stuff, and then it ends up an 8-ball by yourself, fucking curtain twitching and whatever else comes with that devil's
dandruff. And then when you're sober, innit, you're just having it on a random Tuesday, Wednesday during
work.
Man.
At work it ended up for me, mate. So around 26, my life started spiralling out of control. Didn't know which direction I was going. Substance misuse problems were rife at this point. I was smoking weed for fun. I was sniffing even at work. It had got out of control. I owed loads of money out. I was behind on my rent. My life was a mess, basically, mate. Yeah. And I fucking, it all culminated to one night. It all came to a head one night, and it was, I can't remember how much I'd sniffed. It was over an eighth, mate. It was an horrendous amount to the point where I couldn't sniff anymore. My nose were bleeding, and I couldn't sniff anymore, and it was, mate, ruthless. And I was sat there, and I remember I put the settee up against the front door, so my landlord couldn't get in because I was 2 or 3 months behind on my rent. And I was sat there, I was sniffing, and I thought, oh man, my head was in fucking bits. And I was sat there, I had nothing left, no one around me either, I was on my own. And that's the thing with addiction, you don't realise slowly, everyone's gone, there's no one around you. And I was sat there and I thought, I remember I had a full bottle of wine, I think it was roughly half a bottle of vodka in my fridge. And I remember my mate, he was like, again, I won't mention no names, he was bad on the gear at the time. I think he's clean now, I think he is anyway, but back then he was bad on the gear, and he needed somewhere to stop, and let him stop. And I remember he had about 3 or 4 diazepams on him, and he went, can I leave these here? Wrapped them up in a tin foil, and there was a bit of spice as well. Horrible shit, but anyway, I've never touched that. And he left it. I said, listen mate, I don't really like those substances, but you can leave them here. I'll put them in this little penny jar. Put them in the penny jar, and forgot about him. This guy fucked off the next day. And when I was fucking sat there, my head was in bits. I remember thinking, I've got that wine in fridge, I've got that fucking vodka there. And then I remembered them diazes and that spice, and I thought, if I take all that together there, boom, I'm gone. Yeah. I thought, I'm gone. But I couldn't find the spice. Now, no one was in my house, mate. No one lived with me at that time. My brother had gone. My mate Sam, I'll mention his name, he won't mind. Sam Robson, love him to bits. We still speak to this day. He'd gone and left the house. So there was no one there. So I thought, did he come back at some point and take that? Remembered it was there, but just left the diazepam, because they were there. The diazepam, so I thought, but it was mad, like that spice was not meant to be there. Because I truly think as well, if you'd had that into the mix, I'd have been gone. Anyway, I've just gone bang, diazepam, vodka, wine, both. Woke up face down in my boxer shorts, face down in my own bile, and it was, mate, and I thought, wow, I remember peeling my face off the wooden floor, and I'm thinking, what the fuck, didn't know what day it was. Landlord's trying to get in house, I ran upstairs, I'm in fucking bits, mate, I'm finished. Remember I sat there, my head in my hands, I was fucking in tears, and I thought, I can't keep doing this. And I fucked off to Warrington, and that's where I met the UK's scariest debt collector, Sean Smith. That's where my journey started.
Guy,
it was on Vice. The documentary was massive. It's where the them two lads in the room, he gives them a slap for selling steroids. Now one of them, God rest him, is no longer here. He died in a car accident shortly after. The other guy's had the tattoo removed from his face, had it laser removed, but he was still around the gym at the time I was there. Don't know if he is now, but that was where my journey started, brother. Yeah,
so you met him, was that like a friendly encounter, or did it start off like he was trying to chase a debt? How did that, you know what I mean?
No, it was definitely, it was on the, he put some, it was really strange. So, going back a little bit again, if you don't mind, brother, so, my friend, I was homeless when everything come to a halt and I lost everything. I lost the house, I was kicked out of it, I was living on the streets for like a good period of time, and I was sneaking into my mate's shed.
Yeah.
So at night time I was sneaking to my mate's shed, and he had like an old horrible smelly horrible double quilt in there, and I was using that to get to sleep. And my mate who lived on Malvern Avenue at the time, Phil Bleasdale, shout out to Phil Bleasdale, he saw me coming in and out of this shed and he's gone, what's going on, brother? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like seeing you like this, I'll take you in. So he took me in and he converted his kitchen into a gym for me. Yeah. So it was like, yeah mate, this is where it all started. I owe that man, mate. Phil Bleasdale, what a guy. And anyway, so I was in his house one time and I'll never forget his PC, I think the motherboard had broke. It was broke, so the computer weren't working. And he was messing about with it. I'll never forget, I was messing on a 14 ball and he was on his hands and knees, was messing about with it. Anyway, he's got it sorted. And when the computer's kicked back up, I've gone, log me in. And then back then it was that keep me logged in. It used to have a box that got ticked and that, you know, bang, and it keeps you logged in. It was my profile. And the very first thing that was right top of the page, was Sean Smith's face. It was just a box, and I'd seen it, and he scrolled. I went, oh, I said, stop, go back up there. And I seen it, and the post said, looking for bare knuckle fighters. I went, me, bosh. Yeah. And I just knew, and that were it then. I just thought, right, that's a bit of me, that. I had nothing else to lose, brother.
So before then, you'd never done any boxing?
Never boxed a day in my life, mate, no.
Was you a bit of a scrapper, like going pubs and all that session?
No, not at all, mate. It's a nice lad from a God-fearing family, Catholic, mother and father. My dad's an Irish Republican. My mum was from like more of a middle class background. It was a nice placid upbringing. I had a few scrapes here and there in the school playground, but my experience with violence was minimal.
That's absolutely crazy when you think of it. Like, to see how far you've come as well. Because you do, am I right in saying you got the record for most fights in a year?
I did, mate, I did. I'm proud of that record. So I did 36 in under a year, 55 in 18 months. That's never been done in history. I didn't get stopped. I fought on Sky Sports, BBC, Probellum.
Everybody, every platform.
Yeah, I boxed Marcus Morrison, who fought Denzel Bentley 7 weeks later for the British title. I boxed junior Olympic gold medalists. I beat some of them as well, Scottish champions, Commonwealth champions. They know it, I know it, but I didn't get the nod. That's the way the business runs, Raz.
Yeah, that's what I did want to get into as well in the journeyman career. I want to obviously ask you about how you built up to becoming like the man you are today in the game, but also like the negative side of being a very well established busy journeyman, being the away fighter, if you will, knowing that you're taking a fight on 24 hours notice sometimes in a crowd of home fans supporting a fighter. You're not necessarily going there to get the win, you're going there to help a prospect sometimes. Like, what's it like on that side of things, man? Because you're not going for the hero status, are you? It's not.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, mate. I'm glad you asked that question. It's a good one, because I tell people, some of my lads sometimes, the ones that are more inquisitive and actually cared, you know, showing interest, I tell them it's not so much the physical side. I'm put together like an old leather boot, me, mate. So there's wear and tear, but physically I'm tough, I'm durable. It's the mental side, and that's why most men don't, hence why that number's never been reached before. That's why I brought that record, because you could see a lot of journalists like, mate, how you're putting them numbers in. But mentally, I was strong, and because that's what beats you up, mate. It's the mental side. You know you're a professional loser. That's your job. You're a round down before you even start. You go out there, you try your heart out, you feel like you've nicked it, but you get given a draw, or they've been given it 39. So you go, I'm not even going to try now. So you end up just slipping into journeyman mode. Losing's okay. So what happens to a lot of journeyman is, their ambitions are dead. Before you know it, they're just losing and turning up for a pay packet, and then their substance misuse problems creep back in. So if they're a little bit of a smoker, that exacerbates and goes on. A lot of journeymen end up broke, retired, licence being stripped from them. Mine didn't get taken from me, voluntarily handed it in. I said that boxing would never retire me, I'd retire from it. No disrespect, but I was too good at my job for them to take it off me.
That in itself is credibility.
But I said they did pull me in and bollock me at first, but I need to give a shout out as well, because sometimes I do come across as a bit, when I've spoken in the past in public forums and stuff, and I've come across a bit negative towards, like some people call them the British Boxing Board of no control, you know, like I don't go that far, but the Central Area Council, which was the governing body who overlooks our area, they were brilliant with me, mate. My experience with them were really, really good. So like I big them up. So like Les Potts and Rob Smith, not the main man, Rob Smith, Robert Smith, the guy who He's one of the area council executives. They were brilliant with me, and they were top. Yeah,
is that like a local council?
Yeah, so they're a part of the British Boxing Board. They're the secretary councillor for that area, for the north, and there's the Midlands, and you've got the south. But they run the central area and do a class.
In a way, though, you are right to voice your opinion, be it negative or not, because there is a lot of corruption going on in the professional game, and this is why I enjoy the unlicensed scene more. Because any corruption that is happening, it's meant to. Fighters turning up drunk or whatever.
Well said.
You know what I mean?
Well said. And you know something, mate? You've just hit the nail on the head there. I said this to someone the other day. I have opinions on things, and I'll sometimes sit back and look and I'll go, get rid of that boxing snobbery, because it knows its lane. It's not trying to say, it's not trying to clean itself up and polish a turd. It's saying this is what we are, we're in here, and accept us or don't accept us. But the fact is that people say this and that. I've been on, and I've had the fortune of being on the other side of the fence. There's a lot of lads who haven't been on both sides. There's a few, like I think the lad I'm boxing in June, top fighter, Ryan Whitehead, he was going to go for a Midlands area title, but there's not many that have been on both sides, amateur and licensed pro. So the ones of us that have got a good insight to the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And let me tell you now, mate, there's a lot of skullduggery and shit that happens in that game. Just because there's some guy in a British Boxing Board of Control uniform that's holding a clipboard there, so that doesn't mean skullduggery doesn't exist. Believe me, it does. And I could tell you some stories, and I might... There's not that much alcohol. It might derail me, but I'll have to refrain from some of them. But some of the more light-hearted ones that won't put the sport in disrepute, or so I'll probably tell them stories. But yeah.
Well, mate, even Tyson Fury's ranted about it in the past and that. Do you know what I mean? So you've got every level of the game knows what's going on. Obviously, it needs sorting out, but then at the same time, the way the world's going is like Jake Paul coming into boxing and all that, and you know, that influencer boxing.
Yeah, it changed the landscape, didn't it?
It did, bro. But I think like Jake Paul, he's coming fighting professionals without having to do all that amateur work, without. So do you know?
He's done a good job of it though.
Mate, he has, and I'm not taking anything away from what he's done.
I'm not a fan of him, but you just got to tip your hat to the stuff that he has
to
done.
The graft and to the hustle.
And these like people were saying, oh, they were paid to. No, they weren't. It's quite clear that shot that it's Tyrone Woodley, mate. Watch it back.
Yeah.
Who offers themselves up for one of them? There's no way you can fake that. Fact is, he was clever how he cherry-picked his opponents. But
yeah, man.
Before we get off the track, he is brilliant though on what he does, and he's a brilliant self-promoter, mate.
Oh, mate,
absolutely amazing, mate. He's class.
But
he
does
really
take it away from the lads coming up through amateurs who have said, instead of going on unlicensed and just getting my money and getting out, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and do something. They've got a graft from young. They've got to come through. They've got. Do you know what I mean?
You've just touched on another. This was my problem. So my personal opinions, like I say, I get with the programme. You can either watch the parade go by or go, do you know what? I'll jump on parade.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
It's either you sit there and cry about it for the next 10 years. You kind of change and adapt with the times. But I've said this, it's changed, and not for the better in many ways now. There's a lot of fighters that are coming with overinflated numbers, and it's like you just said it then, there's kids that I know are out there now that no one has a clue, all because they're ghosts on social media, but they are top talented, hard-working lads, and they're not getting noticed because the ghosts on social media. Now that's no one's fault but their own. They're not in tune with that yet. No one showed them that way. But it is disheartening when you see it and you think, look, this kid should be getting these opportunities and should be out there. But it is what it is.
I'll just interrupt you quickly on what you're talking about. I have spoke to a lot of boxers over the last couple of weeks on interviews, a lot of young lads, and a lot of them have told me that this kind of stuff is more nerve-wracking than getting in and having a fight. Do you know, getting on camera? They just
100% agree.
That's what they've said to me.
100% agree, mate. The only reason I seem so chilled today, because it's not my first rodeo.
No, mate, you have been around the block,
my own podcast, and I've been at Danny Christie, did one with him.
Yeah.
I've done one with Steve Rafe. I've done many, and as you can tell, I'm quite articulate. I don't struggle to string a sentence together. So for me, this is more... It's organic for me. I'm a talker, as you can tell. I don't shut the fuck up. So I love talking. So for me, this is... it's enjoyable. But my very first one, I'll never forget. The first one I conducted and the first one I actually did as a guest, I'll never forget. Did you think, fucking hell, all the emphasis is on you? So all of a sudden the words start to... and you start to mash them up and your brain starts... So it's hard. I can see how someone who isn't so eloquently spoken would struggle like fuck with something like this.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
But... straight away I can tell you're half decent at what you do, but I've done quite a few, and like I say, some people are very generic with it, and some people they're a little bit more organic with it, mate.
No, and I do, like, obviously what I'm trying to do, not for you obviously, mate, you've already excelled in what you're doing, but for like the up and comers, the other lads, I'll get every boxer that I can on this podcast. I want to promote them, you know what I mean? This is the Bad Lad podcast. Excuse me. It stands for Blackburn and Darwen, Lancashire and District, and it's about the local fighters, the local talent, and we'll just give them a platform. But obviously, when somebody like you or Jack Fair, that big level comes on, you get your content out
Shout
of it.
out Jack Fair.
Every single time, man,
every single time, man. What a machine of a man, and that. What a machine.
We'll get onto him as well because
100%.
His comeback fight is on your show in Doghouse Rules.
Correct, mate. That's correct. Against someone he's already beat, but this guy's coming back with a vengeance, obviously.
So how do you think that's all going to go? It's in a good couple of weeks, and it's
about 13 weeks. I think 12, 13 weeks, but the show's going to be amazing. We've gone up a level in every way: graphics, media, production value, everything. It's going to be mint. I think that fight, if Jack's in a good place and puts in a full camp, I think Jack stops him again.
Yeah.
No disrespect to being on Sportsman on the phone the other day. Top guys have to go on what I actually think and feel, and that is that Jack Fair fully focused and switched on. There's only 2 men in the country that can deal with him, and one of them's already beat him, and the other one's yet to face him. That's Matty Scott and Harry Bray. I think they're the only 2 men in the country. I truly believe Jack Fair's in the top 3 best cruiserweights in the unlicensed scene. When he's switched on and focused, I think he could probably turn one of those 2 I mentioned over on his day as well. I really do believe that, mate. I do believe that. You've got to look at what he's been doing now, and he's doing that basically. Like I said, I don't want to talk, but everyone knows it's well documented and it's in the public eye. Jack's had his struggles and stuff, his demons, but Jack's just getting in there at 10%. I want people to think about that. Jack's getting in there at 10%. Wait till he's at 90, because we're never going at 100, never. But wait till he's at 90%, you guys are in trouble, mate.
Do you know the majority of the fights that he's had, whilst these demons have been going on, he's only took them on because he's been asked. Do you know, like, he just says he's that kind of fighter that he will just say to anything. Like, obviously he wants to, but he can't help himself. If someone says, can you come fight tomorrow, he'll be like, yeah, and then he'll ring me up and it's like, right, babe, I've got to pack a suitcase, we're on a road trip, I'm rapping apparently, it's fucking...
Oh, you're in no man designated as rapper.
Corner man, I cornered him on the...
And he'll say, in corner him, fucking give him his good multitasker, mate. Mate, it's good, you know, like what you're doing as well. If he gets his stuff together as well, now he has another little avenue to focus on, and it's something we all need. Something
this is
to
the other thing.
On.
If this podcast does take off, I said this to him before we even started. That's why he was my number 1 guest on it. We did our podcast 4 times. 3 times we fucked about. We couldn't post it. It was just too much carnage. So the one we did, it were a bit morbid, but we spoke before, and the whole point of this podcast is what Jack Fair's got. I'd say a push 7 years left of a fighting career. He knows it, I know it. He's 30 now, so he wants to, 5 to 7 years, he wants to hang his gloves up. And then he can just jump into taking over this and just interview all the boxers, give them a bit of insight, a bit of everything, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you said that. I would advise him to do that now, because, like I always say this, I never had a reference point, me. So I started at 28. So like, fucking, I never had a reference point. I couldn't go on my peak when I was 23, 24, 25, I didn't have that. So I'd say do that now, because otherwise when he goes into this now, or this other lane, or this other avenue, whatever you want to call it, he will not be able to focus on it. If there's stones that have been not unturned, he will not be able to focus. So this is why you do what you need to do now. Win, lose or draw, fight the fights you want to fight, go for the title fights, go for the big stage, because when it's all said and done, you want to be able to sit back and go, right, I'm happy. I'm happy, and I can leave it and I can focus on this, and it's not in the back of his mind when he's at work and he's doing what he's doing. Jack's capable, very capable. He has got a plan in place
as well, so I think 12 months from now we'll watch back on this episode of the podcast and we'll be like, look how far he's come from where he was, not taking anything away from how far he's already come. He's obviously done unbelievable, achievable things.
Amen.
But everybody has a struggle every now and again. Jack's just unfortunately got one, but he's recognised it, he's seeking the help and he's getting there, so I'd say don't write him off just yet, you know.
He might be like me in that respect, and that, like I say, a bit like, I think I'm a bit I think I'm autistic or something, me. And like I say, my social cues are a bit weird. Sometimes you notice I don't maintain eye contact for long periods of time when I'm speaking, but like I've noticed things and similarities and commonalities with other people as I've got older, and I'm thinking, I'm on that spectrum, me. There's something not ADHD, whatever you want to call it.
I said this to Chris Price, do you know, to be like as good or as focused or as driven at something as most of the people who I chat to in this fighting game are, there has to be something more going on in your brain, do you know, like, and Chris Price said it back to me, he said everything that I'm doing, there must be some kind of autistic spectrum there, because it's, who else is like this, you know, going 100 miles an hour at everything, and you know, constant, non-stop. I do agree, and at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be labelled as anything, me, that's my biggest flaw. I won't take a label, I won't go to doctors for any diagnosis, for anything. I'll self-medicate, self-medicate, and if I can't, that's just natural selection, innit?
You know, I've noticed this too, that you can say autistic or you can put a label to it when you look, we're still all unique.
Yeah, that's
when I look at some lads and spend, I think, well, look at him, he's got his own peccadillos, his own little things.
This neurodivergent label.
That's it, neurodivergent.
Now, I've heard it a lot in the last 4 years, but before that I'd never heard it in my life.
Same, last couple of years it's come
my argument is, if we are all unique, different individual personalities, are we not all then neurodivergent? Because it literally translates to different brain thinking. So everybody has their own way of thinking, do you know?
Yeah, so even the normal, because normal is a neurodivergent. Yeah,
if somebody thinks, I want to have an apple, that's his sole thought. He did that himself, so he is a neurodivergent. He's not, you know what? So it's a bit of a weird one. I do get it, but
it's abstract, isn't it? It's very abstract.
I think it's woke virus, and I think it's going too far, me, mate. You know
what, mate? I think you've touched on something, right? Because right, like for example, now I've got loads of kids at the gym. I love them to bits, mate. They're belting, but I don't think I've had one come through the door that hasn't got autism or ADHD. So I'm thinking, like, every one of them. And I'm thinking, like, has this become something? Because what's the first thing you do when you get, we medicate it, we fucking,
that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a cycle, and there's someone benefiting at the top of it, isn't there? But
it's a business, mate. If it's free, you're the product, you know what I mean?
Because I've never, they tried to medicate me for depression, and I remember my mum finding loads of shit in the attic, and it was my old bag full of loads of shit, and it had loads of tabs where I was getting them. I thought, pal, whacking it through fuck.
Yeah, mate, I got kicked off services. I got kicked off services because I said to the doctor who was questioning me, I went through a really rough, traumatic time. It were life-changing for me, yeah. And I went to the doctors, and I'm sat there saying, I'm having these kind of thoughts, and I'm too paranoid to get out of my house. I'm drinking every day. It weren't good. She said, well, take these. I can't remember what they were, man. Antidepressants of some sort, and I said, I'm not taking them because I understand about the frequencies, and that's just a numb line. Like, if your heartbeat, you have your ups and your downs. Well, if you're just down like that, that's depression. If you're just up like that, that's ADHD. And there's some kind of balance in the middle, but the antidepressants just draw the flat line. Whereas mushrooms, magic mushrooms, and I said this to the doctor, and then she put me down as possible drug-induced psychosis, and I'd lost my driving licence and ended up getting all kinds of charges.
Wow.
And the thing is, it wasn't even a diagnosis, it was an assumption, which is illegal for a doctor to do.
That,
Because I sat there and I told her, magic mushrooms, if you microdose them, they take the frequency lower on the negative side and more bring it down on the higher side, so you're still buzzing but you're not as sad.
If you microdose stuff, it's really good for curing depression. That's
the truth of it. I'm a big advocate of magic mushrooms, not as in take hundreds every day and trip balls and get yourself mentally unstable that way, but microdosing, it cures everything from cancer to nerve damage to eczema to everything. All the best inventors of the decades gone by, centuries gone by, used to microdose mushrooms and go foraging and eat wild mushrooms. It's mad, bro, but they're so illegal because of the power that they've got. If I told you I've got a cure for cancer, it grows from the ground 2 to 3 weeks of the year up in the forest on South Facing Hills, go and get them. And you could just go and take them, and then your cancer's gone. And there's many cases that prove it, and that
end of the chemo and
end of a business. It's end of a business. It's like weed. When the COVID pandemic were going on, I don't believe in any of it. I think it was just a rebranding of the flu. That were it. It was the same figure of deaths, all that, but cannabis stopped you catching it because the cannabinoids caught onto the receptors in the brain that would pick up the COVID vaccine, so they were getting blocked because of weed, so weed stopped COVID. Do you know,
that's mad, isn't it?
But they told that on the radio, and I'm thinking, so why then are you not legalising weed and distributing weed to everybody?
Or you can't write it, mate.
It's madness, bro.
That's why anything that would lead you to critical thinking or rational thought, they don't want you entertaining,
That's it, and that's another dangerous side of social media. So being constantly in the public eye, if you say something that the population disagree with, like a slip of a tongue or something, anything, that's it, it's game over.
And I've said to people before as well, the longer you're in that public eye, the more chance of that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, with the battle rap,
slip of the tongue, we've all come from the council estate.
That's it, innit? We've all
one little and that phrase, that terminology doesn't go down well with the fucking left or the war, and then before you know it, you're being fucking cancelled left, right.
I got cancelled from battle rap. And I'll tell you the truth of what I said, right? I shared on Twitter a post about 2 men from LGBTQ community.
I knew it was something of that origin.
They adopted a child and they did bad shit to that child. And I read it, and it was Christmas Eve, and I had 1 can of beer after I wrapped all kids' presents and set up all Christmas. I went out to my smoking room, made myself a joint, had a beer, went through Twitter, I clicked this fucking thing, and I thought, I was shaking with anger. I was that mad. I thought, why? The whole point of gayness, if you're gay, it means you're into men. That means you're not into, by right, you're not into going down the family route, because it's not biologically possible. It's you should, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why are you giving? And you can argue, well, everyone didn't know. It's weird, man. You're not. The human function is to be heterosexual. A man has sex with a woman. A biological thing happens, and another human is formed. That's the whole point of sex when you get down to it. I'm not against gayness at all. I've got gay friends, family members. I am against all public displays of affection, So if you're snogging your bird in a bar, I'm going to get away from it. I'll go stand somewhere else because I don't want to watch two people getting horny on each other and shit. But the gay community, they walk people down the fucking street on leashes during the day while you're out shopping with your kids, and it's not a problem.
It's not, you know what I mean? It is, and we know it is. Like you just said then, if it was a man and a woman or two men, it's a look of impropriety, whether it's fucking two men, man and woman. Not for me, this part.
I don't want to do it in your bedroom, innit? Keep it private.
You're right, mate. Like I said, if you want to play your bongos at 4 a.m. naked, mate, in your house and that with fucking curtains closed, sweet, mate. Fucking find a way. Don't put that shit on me. But don't try and get me fucking doing that shit.
I shared it and I said, basically, the LGBTQ, this is my exact words I typed, the LGBTQ is a paedophile agenda and nobody will change my mind. And I shared it because I had done a load of research that told me that if you believe in all the conspiracy theories, shall we say, then you'll know who's running the world, who's at the top, and you'll know that they've got plans for everything, divide and conquer. And this transgenderism especially is devil worshipping down to the child sacrificing shit, hence why it's in schools, it's in... So I called it out early. It all come out in the Epstein files that it was actually a fucking pre-planned thing, so everything I said was spot on. But the battle rap scene has become that woke and that liberally fucking left wing that made me homophobic, transphobic, bigot, all this shit. They were doxing my address online. They were someone rung social services on me trying to get my kids took off me. Social services rung me up. I answered the phone. We've had a message, blah blah blah, from Ireland, and I had to say to them, look, I've wrote a tweet, I've expressed an opinion, and I'm getting a lot of backlash from it. You know, my kids are safe. You can check my records. There's no DBS. There's no anything. She said, no, it's fine, we just had to make a phone call, we won't come and see you, and that was the end of it. But it were bad, all because of what I said. So then I got cancelled for 2 weeks off Twitter, blocked for 2 weeks off Twitter, and then when I got my account back, the first thing I did, for the first time in my life proper, was did an apology video, and I said, I'm not sorry for what I said, I'm sorry if I've hurt your feelings, I'm not accusing every gay person of being a paedophile, that is not what I'm doing. I'm just merely stating an opinion, and I'm sorry if I've offended you, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't accept it, and they give me more shit, and then it carried on for about 4 months. So then I ended up making a diss track, and I just name dropped every battle rapper, and I was like, go on, you're meant to be rappers, it's a scene of rappers, let's rap then, let's have a rap beef, and let's get something creative out of it. Not one of them out of 24 rappers replied to me, bro, you know, like. So I just kept on terrorising them and that. So I think that's why I got cancelled, It's just mad, but now, because I've seen that side of them, and like the way they've defended. Because like there's a guy called Stephen Ireland who's like the founder of LGBTQ, and he's in jail for 23 years for unspeakable crimes against children, and that's the founder of the... So it's like saying Hitler and Nazis, so say Stephen Ireland and the LGBTQ, you can't call all Nazis evil just because he was. It's the same exact fucking thing, you know what I mean? You get done for saying that shit.
I've got some pretty... Like I say, I don't like to get too political on podcasts.
So you haven't gone completely south.
I was going to say I've got my opinions. I was going to elaborate, and then I thought you best not, mate. I know what it's like. It can get you in trouble.
It gets you in trouble. But
everyone's got their own beliefs, haven't they, and their own political views. And I always say this, we've all got our opinions, and it's based on sources of information we're receiving. So we're all receiving it from somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? But what I always believe in me is you know inherently what is right and what is wrong. Forget religion, forget politics. You know in your heart as a human being what is right. Inherently it should be in you that. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. Anything else is just a twisted form of logic, and it's trying to get pushed on everyone else. That's my opinion there. That's the most condensed
and then
form of what I can say.
We'll jump straight back to the boxing, and we'll do all that, because that was my fault as well.
I enjoy it, bro. Let it go, mate. It can go whatever avenue. I said this, whatever direction the wind takes this podcast, mate, we'll go with it.
That's the best kind, man. I do enjoy them the best. But though, right, so we've talked about your achieving the Guinness World Record, innit?
I don't know if it's actually in there official, but it is an official record.
And then you went from doing all that on the professional circuit as well, which is in itself an accomplishment to do.
a good standard, a high level,
And then you switched to bare knuckle. And just before I let you go off on that one, for people who watch at home and might not know, that means you have to give up your licence. You can't be a professional boxer and anything else, can you? You can't go on amateurs, you can't go on licence, you can't do anything.
Even though the bare knuckle is now classed as professional and goes on your box rec, it's still, you can't have a licence with the British Boxing Board of Control and actively do bare knuckle. How it came about was I retired, I got an arthritis diagnosis, so I've got degenerative bone erosion, I have no bone there.
Fucking hell, and you're still fighting?
Still fighting, mate.
That's crazy.
So I won that with the jab because I've got a fucking brilliant jab, me. My jab's unreal. If you watch from that little clip on bare knuckle and the trigon, I drop him with the jab, it's a beautiful shot. The punch mechanics behind the jab, once you master them, your jab's a weapon, it's not just a rangefinder. But I'm the only man to enter the trigon yet, unless someone can find that this a fact or find it incorrect. I'm pretty sure I'm the only man that's gone in the trigon, completed 5 3-minute rounds and come out the same way he went in without a scratch on him. And like I say, that's not the grace of God, that's a high fight IQ and good ring generalship, that. And that trigon, they call it the smallest surface area in combat sports. I managed to box around it for 15 minutes, so I did all right, mate.
That's impressive, man.
It was class, and I got to number 5 in the world, and I was buzzing because when I retired and got that diagnosis, I thought I'm done, and I messaged Jim Freeman Dove, shout out Jim Freeman Dove, what a guy, always been an absolute diamond with me, Jim. Doesn't work with BKB no more, that's a different story though, but Jim was like, I said, mate, I can't close this chapter, this is going to get worse, this bone erosion, this arthritis, so I've got one last run now. I won't get my licence back, I'm too old, I relinquish my licence, I want to have one shot at this, and fair play to me, give it me. And then I got that Police Gazette medal, so I'm in the history books now there, that serial number's in there. If I went to the Police Gazette building in New York, my name's in that history book. So I was buzzing with that, and I could close the chapter on that, and then end up getting the itch, and I thought, this Gorilla came about, Misfits, I thought, I might get a shot at that. I ended up on Gorilla. So I thought, right, that's done now. Split decision loss, thought I won, but it is what it is. Shout out Marky Henderson, my opponent, and then we're here now. I've got Ryan Whitehead in June, I've got Marbella next weekend. I was going to box in Denmark this weekend, but it's fell through. But it's last push for me now, mate. What meaningful fights. Meaningful fights. That's
it, innit? Like you said on the last interview we had, that this is like the final phase of your career now.
100%.
So like, how does that feel for you? You know, like...
Good, because it's like, I know I can't do it forever, and I'm enjoying it, because like I said, now it's not about helping promoters and saving shows and looking good, aesthetically pleasing boxing. It's about enjoying myself and having a few wars and going out there to win.
Well, you're saying that, but all I see is you helping promoters and helping shows and doing your bit for the scene, mate. Like that show you put on at the Hideout Arena. Fucking what I watch you out on, man. That was
thank you as well.
Thank you for that, bro. Thank you for that.
Even my mum, I think it was my mum or someone, I'm sure it were my missus. No, my mum thinks, she went, what happened to the Irish thing and that? And I said, no, let Raz walk down to like, it must have been good for you to ditch the Irish thing, because I always come out to Paddy on the landfill, but I weren't turning down that opportunity, bro.
Oh man, that was crazy. And it was last minute as well, weren't it? We're literally...
Yeah, do you know what, only until I watched it back, and I think it was your clip, because when I seen the clip of it, I go out, the audio was dead distorted, but then when I seen it, it was buzzing. Do you want to watch it back? I think it was you put it on. It was buzzing.
The only like thing that made it a little bit odd to enjoy the walkout was there were a big tribe of people walking out with you, and I did the stupid thing. I should have gone, right, Seamus, I'm going to get in front of you here, and you know. But instead I've gone, right, I'll let all these kids and everyone go first, and I'll go at the back. And then when I'm stood at the back of the tunnel and you're walking on stage, and I thought, it's coming now, I'm meant to be rapping now, shit. So I'm like trying to fight my way through all these
kids and that.
You're all way down.
Kids, weren't they? I thought when I was looking,
I was just trying to be nice. I was just trying to be nice.
You know, being a gentleman, mate. But
we made history there as well, like, and I'm very proud of this, because I've not been in this unlicensed scene long at all, but I did 2 walkouts for 2 boxers on the same show.
That's correct.
And that's never been done. Shout out Liam, man.
Shout out to Liam.
I met him on a Dyson Promotions event, and I did I interviewed as many people as I could, and he ended up like becoming a mate of his, like straight. I've got a lot of respect for him already.
Yeah, he's a lively character. When I first stood up, he was like, I'm not going out, I'm not warm enough yet. And all of a sudden I thought, I'm going to have trouble with him. Do you know what? Within a few minutes, I talked him down. I said, mate, listen, we'll meet somewhere in the middle here. You get saying 20 minutes. 10 minutes, get yourself warm, get your blood flowing, right?
I were in the changing rooms.
Yeah, he was sound, you know, and he were all right, and afterwards I paid him straight away, and he come over, he went, thank you, Seamus. He was bob on, you know. I think he had a little bit of a spat at ringside about him. Matt Kirby did, didn't he?
He had an argument with
He had a little argument, and I seen him going like, and I thought, what's going on here? So he took my eye off the fight, but brilliant show, mate. Very small attendance, but we're lucky we got it over the line. The budget was just made.
Most of your attendance were VIP seats, so it made it look like busy event anyway.
And the atmosphere, to say the crowd was so small, was pretty decent. I was happy with it, but I was proud I got it over the line, mate. Literally, the show cost, I think, in between 12 and 13 grand, and we just got it over the line.
Yeah. Which is another thing I wanted to get onto you about. Doing everything you're doing, sometimes you do it at a loss, yeah? Obviously the point of promoting is making money, but you've got to build up that business, you've got to build up that repertoire. 100%. I'm not saying you haven't, like you've sold out ringside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you did sell, there was a few in attendance, but it wasn't, like when I went Gorilla, it were jam-packed to the rafters, but that's expected on that kind of level.
Yeah.
But it was still, there were still people about everywhere. I got interviews. I met that Chris who I did the guitar with there. Yeah, he was like, "You're Razren. White Northern men shouldn't be rapping, but you're the exception. I play guitar. We're gonna do something."
About Charles.
Charles. I said Chris, didn't I? Charles.
Charles. Charles is one that shout out to. He's actually a good friend of mine. Is Charles.
He's a good friend of mine now as well.
I've known him for years, but we were just kind of first name terms in passing. You're right, lad. You're right, Charles. You're right, Seamus. That rate for years. So I knew who he was, but I didn't we weren't close, just acquaintances, like at best. But then over the last couple of years, we started getting. I think he booked in. Yeah, he just booked in some sessions, and then from there I was like, wow, this guy, like, just a chill guy into his music, smokes weed, dead, doesn't take himself too seriously. But my sort of guy.
Yeah, innit, man.
And he can box a bit, you know.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
He can box a bit. He's just a hobbyist.
Yeah.
So he doesn't he never dedicates himself to it. Do you know what I love about Charles? He's never tried to blag my head either and like sell me the dream. I'm going to be in the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up early and run. He's just said, mate, when I'm in the gym, I'll train hard. When I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah.
And I hope he focuses on his music more, man.
I'll tell you what, mate. Obviously, you know, things have been going a bit crazy for me at the minute. I don't know if you know who he is, but Sub Small Leaf.
I do.
Well,
I do, mate.
He's invited me down to his studio next week, and I've said, I sent him the video of the guy with the guitar, and I said, I want to bring this guy, and I want to do a bit with him as well.
That'll be mint for him, that, bro.
He said, I've always wanted to work with a guitar player. Nice one, bro, thanks. So
that's mint, that, mate. That's buzzing for Charles. You see what I love about this game? It brings me on to something else there. We'll end up branching off loads of times, people. The networking, that side of the game. Well, some people are right, still fucking keep your arm's length and pretend that they're chucking your bonus card every now and again, but the good people, they network, they put people onto the people, and it opens doors for people, brother. Charles and boxing, and coming through me boxing and meet you, and then from there meet Subs Heath, and then if you play your cards right and you fucking switched on and you're on the game, if you can do something with it, you meet different people, you broaden your horizons, mate. It's a beautiful thing, and boxing for me, it's like, oh mate, it saved me, brother.
Well, this is what I mean, man.
It saved me life, mate. Before boxing, my self-esteem, my confidence, it just, when my CV was bare, mate, I just fucking dossed through life mostly, mate. But yeah,
but the transformation, what you did though, from like homeless and drugs and all that to you're living clean, you're doing well, you're in great shape as well. The last show we were just talking about, what were it, 12 minutes?
12 minutes,
7 seconds,
yeah, something like that.
17 seconds, maybe,
like yeah, it was, yeah.
Well, it was doghouse rules. I even said to you, didn't I, at the beginning, like, what, doghouse rules, man? And had no rounds or nothing. Go like, fucking hell, you're mad bastard.
6 rounds in one go, it was like doing 6-2s in just one
without
go,
a rest,
mate,
without a rest. I was lucky enough to, because I walked you out, I were already ringside, I got a lot of content of it and that, but I was watching it and I were in awe of both of you, man, you know, like.
Thank you, brother, thank you.
The first couple of minutes, it was like any boxing fight, go on, but then as the time went on and the heart you both showed and nobody slacked and, you know. And it's like you said to me, that he just, like Undertaker, he wouldn't stay down, would he?
And I kept thinking, right, at some point here, I'm going to end up really flat. I'm going to have to be a punch bag for 30 seconds and that, but no disrespect to me, he's not a big puncher, Massey. So I was lucky in that respect. He's not a big puncher, but he's such a game tough lad, and he has a go. Do you know what I mean? He's not, they're not pillow hands, don't get me wrong, but he's not a big puncher.
Yeah.
So like, I thought I could probably get away with just tucking up and getting through and having breathers here and there, but I didn't need to. When I started pouring it on him a bit and went through the gears, I could see he was struggling, but tough guy, mate. He's been around a bit as well, hasn't he? Fair play to him.
I did. Obviously, I interviewed you both at the same time, and then I said to him just after. Then I said, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'm going to try and get him on here one time. If I have to travel down to Birmingham, but I'll be going that way anyway now. So I'm going to try and give him that promotion that I give everyone else, because the way that you were smiling with each other after, and it was just nothing but respect, and you know what I mean?
And I could tell that he was like, it's almost makes me feel bad. That's why I was doing the old stare when I got into my little alter ego, because I have to here, because I like him. I thought, I don't want to be too tippy-tappy with him, because at some point I'm going to have to try and pull the trigger and get him out of there, but it's harder when you like him.
Yeah, when you know.
Because he's a genuine, and I thought, but then I knew there was that level of respect there, and you kind of go, right, this guy's been about, he's not going to take this personal, go and switch on, do the job. But such a nice guy, so it does make it hard to actually want to work to them, you know, genuine malicious intent.
Yeah, and I bet it's just until that last minute, like, because obviously you've got a lot of respect for each other.
100%.
There wasn't like a big press build-up, was there?
No. He come on last minute because it fell through with Mikey, but I'll not go into that. Nothing bad. Me and Mikey fell out, anything like that. But it fell through negotiations. The budget wasn't there to pay him the original amount, and we couldn't.
That is another thing that I did want to get onto as well. All that side of things. So like your ticket sales, trying to make a wage, trying to pay fighters, trying to keep on top of it. Like when you're coming at a loss, there's always someone that's going to have to wait for a wage, or you know, someone that might be let down last minute. And that gets spread out amongst the group chats between fighters. All of a sudden, your biggest content.
Yeah, we've been lucky. So when things have happened, I've made executive decisions at the right time. If there's been fights on the card that didn't make sense, weren't creating revenue, and I brought the budget down, done what I needed to do to make sure there's no one at the end going, listen, we want paying, and it's not there. So I've been all right on that. I pride myself on that. I ain't got anyone looking at me sideways, but it is hard, mate, because people don't realise there are things that factor into it, like wristbands, title belts, 300 quid there, 300 quid there, title belts. You've got your scorecards, they cost money. You've got all these little things that factor in: the venue, the security, the DJ, the commentary team.
Even the clackers,
even the graphics, the posters, that cost. We had Wheater, shout out Jordan Wheater, we had him doing all the posters for me and that. I was whacking him 10-15 quid every now and even there, but it costs money. People don't understand, you're already in your own pocket, you're paying deposits to people because they won't move.
See, or even promote it. I do understand it properly from like, this is why what I do is another thing that's kind of unique, man. Give me a ticket where I can get everywhere, you know what I mean? And maybe now that I'm popping off a bit, pay me travel maybe, but I don't ask for a wage. I understand I'm getting a night out of it, do you know what I mean? I'm promoting you, but I'm getting them views on my content. Everybody wins.
Do you know what I mean? As long as it's a good agreement and everyone knows where they stand. You shoot yourself in the foot stepping over those fucking dollars to pick up the dimes.
There's no point trying, man. I don't want to turn around to like say I know a promotion is maybe going to break even. Maybe after all the work that the promoter's put in, he might make himself enough for a fucking holiday to Benidorm or something, or do you know, a weekend away with his family. I'm not going to come up like, oh, I deserve 200 quid because I'm going to run around pissed up with a microphone, you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, do you know what it is? People shoot themselves. It reminded me of something like when you said it to this guy and he was charging a good rate, and he notched it up by a good few hundred quid, and I thought, oh mate, you're going to lose people now there, you know, like, and he ended up losing a bit of work, I believe, anyway, but we had to like come and I thought, oh mate, you shoot yourself in the foot.
No mate, I don't like asking for the travel, but the thing is what people don't get I'm putting all my time and effort into it and I'm not getting paid, and you know yourself, social media doesn't pay until it does, you know, like, there's no happy medium.
100%, mate. I just about paid my council tax and my phone bill off it.
Mate, I think I got $14 for 6.1 million views or something, bro. Do you know, like,
how it works? So I've figured out.
How you meant to do a fucking thing off that though?
It's mad. So my videos, I had one that had 1 million views, right, and it got nothing. Turned over nothing, not even 3 cents. And then I got a picture. I put a picture on this picture, had quite a few engagements, so I'm guessing the written word and people engaging with you. It's only had like fucking $8.
Oh mate, it's like, madness. It's a madness.
Yeah, like $8 off just this, but I'm thinking, wow, you can see how people are just flourishing off it. And if you know what you're doing and the peak times to post it, you're on to a winner. And if you get that niche market, you know what people are liking, you get with the trends. Have you noticed? People start getting these trends.
Me and Jack did one, we did that Apex trend, bro, and it was like we ended up making quite a masterpiece, if I say so myself.
I'm loving the content, mate. I'm loving the content, bro.
That was just a trend. That was Jackson a trend, and he said, "Do you want to have a do at this?" But like our way, we'll put our spin on it. And I was like, "What a full fucking production!"
Pulled it off, brother. Do you know, like, you have done some good content. I've noticed it over the last couple of weeks getting better.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm learning. This was
all a learning curve.
When me and Jack made the agreement, we're going to work together. I'm going to rap him out every show. I'm going to rap him out, and then if I branch off on that, walk other boxers out, rap on shows, all that shit. That's the point, yeah. That's how we promote me as a rapper. Jack takes his fights, he gets his fighting exposure, he gets his wage, he gets all that shit. I'll do so I edit all our content, everything Jack posts and gets all them love arts for. That's your. I've edited that, I filmed that. You know. Yeah. He says to me, he puts it best. I'll give you the paint and you will paint the picture. Do you know? So he'll say, right, I've seen this idea, or I've got this idea where I want to do.
You go and deliver the brush stroke.
And then we sit there and we argue, and it gets not heated as in like we're going to fall out, but like, well, fuck it, I'm trying to. No, Jack, trust me, we need to do this. He's going, I'm not fucking doing that. Like that Tommy Albert's one where we promoted him, and I got him to get in that bin. You know, who's getting in a fucking bin for a bit of content? It was just like,
but you need people to set one for the team, bro.
We do bits and bats, so like. one day it'll be all about him. We'll put this is all going on your wall, and the next day it's like, right, we'll do something for mine, and we work it that way. Do you know what I mean?
The yin to the yang, you both just taking in turns.
It's all like we're a team with 50-50 down the middle. So whilst he's got all this shit going on behind the scenes that he's dealing with, I'm just steering the ship in it. You know what I mean? But there's no point me stopping as well now. Just because I might as well keep it going for when he's in a couple of months when he's back at his fucking best. Right, we've gone from here to here, Jack. Now come on, drive this. Let me have a bit.
But charting his recovery be something that
I've already discussed it.
You know, like, it sounds mad because obviously it's something that's personal.
It'll help a lot of people.
And massive, because then there's pros and cons to everything, isn't there? But
he doesn't want to come across as he's looking for likes and shit.
I knew he'd be that man.
And I'm not going to try and talk him into it. I just want him to get better, regardless.
100%.
I think he said himself, once he's a bit more comfortable with, like, say, when he's got his drinking down to less than half, and he knows he has, you know, he's done 7 days, he's good. Then maybe he'll start. He doesn't want to. He's already announced that he's an alcoholic and he's getting the help, so he doesn't want to publicly slip right back into the depth of it. You know, he wants to
make sure he's good and before he comes back out into the other side.
We have done bits, and we have, you know, like, he's just, I don't think he wants to start posting it everywhere yet because he doesn't want that sympathy. He's a fighter at the end of the day. He's a strong lad.
Proud man.
You know what I mean? He just 100%. Wants to fix himself. But we are smashing the content, and we still, like, the whole thing on that skit, we started off where I called him an alcoholic. You know, like, that were his idea. That was, you know?
Well, I had a feeling there must have been some pre-rehearsed sort of thing going on. I'm guessing that I knew that.
We do. I know it sounds a bit mad, but we do. We sit down and we don't script it. Everything we say is off the cuff, but we know, like, we're going to aim for this kind of conversation. Yeah. So we'll say, right, you call me an alcoholic, and then I'll start getting a bit mad, and I'll be like, right. So then, fucking hell, Jack, how you doing, mate? Not seen you for ages. And he went, since school or something, you know, like.
Yeah.
I think as we get further, we probably will get it scripted more, but
you might have to, as you start to elaborate, you might have to.
But what the whole point of it was like, we were meant to be promoting fights, do you know, like, but obviously because he's had to fucking pull out of all his upcoming bookings because of what's going on, and it's far too early to be promoting the fight coming up. So like, we'll just do this one just to show we can make the content, but like normally the skits we do, there's always a fight advert at end one of Jack's fights and that, you know, get your ticket. We did Red Rose, we've done Curtis Boards before he did the pull out and that, so in a couple of weeks, we are going to get one done for you.
Yeah,
do you know, like, we've got ideas. We might even get you involved as well. But that's
if you're up for it. I'm game, brother.
I won't tell you what the plan is on here in case this is out before that, because it'll ruin it. But I have got ideas, big ideas. But we are, again, this is what we do. We go off track, but we are going off track. So we'll talk about the life beyond the ropes, man. So
life beyond the ropes.
Yeah, man.
I like. So it's been So, well, I retired, didn't I, from being a pro, but then again, that didn't last that long. How long was I retired? So I went straight into the gym. I ended up in my own business instantly, within days of retiring. And I was enjoying it, mate. I think I was retired for nearly a year, and then ended up coming back into the bare knuckle, which we've already discussed. And then I retired again, and then I started focusing on my lads. But it's hard adjusting to mundane life, because when you don't have a fight date, and fights on the horizon, you find yourself a bit aimless. You'll do bits here and there, but there's no real consistency to your training. You put weight on, diet shit, your mental, like, you lose that mental edge and stuff, and it is difficult, mate. I can see why these fighters who fought at a higher level, and I standard, really struggle with retirement, mate. I can see how they do, because it's replacing that reward system, that dopamine fix, that adrenaline spike.
That's it, you've hit the nail there.
Oh, mate.
Jack told me it's the best addiction. Do you know? Ever. That's why he won't stop. Even in this condition, he'll keep taking fights on. He'll keep turning up, because you can't. It's hard to put the gloves down, isn't it?
Well, mate, I'm wired. So after fights, especially if a good performance or a win, that the adrenaline spike and the feeling of elation, I can't even describe it, mate. If you could bottle it and sell it, you'd be a multi-millionaire, as. And I don't sleep. My missus will wake up at 4:30, 5 and look at me and she'll go, "Have you been sleeping?" I'm like, "No, I'm wired. I've touched fuck all, mate. I'm wired, because the synapses in my brain are firing, and it's like, I can't explain it. I didn't need to say, I'm buzzing. I'm watching the fight over, I'm looking at the comments in the comment section, I'm going over the fight in my head, I'm thinking about the next fight I've got. It's a fucking drug. It's a drug, and I'm addicted to it, mate.
I think this is my personal opinion on it. Yeah, obviously I'm no expert, but I think it's like endorphin mixed with testosterone boost. You feel the fucking fight. You see, so even if you watch a good fight and like you said, I want to do it.
But it's amplified by the time you've spot on.
I think even non-fighters like myself, I'll watch a fight and I'll get rowdy watching it. I'll get fucking hell, you end up shadowboxing around your room if not. What I mean?
There's people who say like is all that it does my head in. Simon Jordan gets it every time, mate. Have you boxed before? And it's like, mate, you don't have to have boxed before. Have you ever been in a physical confrontation before? You know that feeling of that adrenaline spike, that butterflies in the stomach. Yeah. You know that feeling. Just imagine now, you've had it in a schoolyard and everyone like crowds round you. Do you know what I mean? You got that. Everyone's watching a similar feeling. You know that feeling. It's daunting.
Well, the battle rap. This is it's a comparison I make a lot, but it's nowhere near the same. But in a way, it is. It's one-on-one. You're in there by yourself.
Everyone's around you.
And at the end, when you win, you're like fucking, and everyone's clapping for you, and it's like that bit. I watch when I post a clip of my battles, and there's a big clap at the end of it. That's the only bit I watch, man. It's like fucking, I've got them people buzzing off me, man. You know,
I bet that's amazing. That
it's similar to when
to get a victory.
So when you knock someone out and you're screaming round ropes and everybody's on the fucking feet. That is what I get on steroids, you know what I mean? That is obviously I've not knocked someone out, but I've done well with what I'm doing, and in that circle,
that's your thing, innit? That's your thing that resonates for you.
That's why, like, even everything that's gone on, bro, I won't stop battle rapping. It's just they won't let me. You know, if they run me up tomorrow, we've got your battle in 4 days.
I'll be down there.
I'm going, bro.
Well, do you have a legit record in that?
I've done. I think I've got. My legitimate record is different to what's on the web. Like, there's like a box rec of battle rappers.
I was going to ask this. That's what I was. That's mint, that, bro.
I think on there it's either 9 or 10 battles, and it's like all battles are subjective. This is where it's different to fighting.
Of course, you
could watch it and think my guy won. Well, you know what I mean?
He had a better delivery or better.
But it does tend to go off like crowd reaction and comments. That's how you score it. And if you watch all my battles, bro, apart from there's one where I fucked up my fucking second round. I'm not going to make excuses, but bad place mentally. I just turned up my foot. I fucked up, and then after that, I let him down for a second shot. My lift let me down to the bottom of the country on the day, so I'm not going to be able to get there. So I thought that way I went over. But apart from that one, I think I've won every single one, and I think it's like 13, but there's 3 or 4 that didn't get posted because they had like corruptions in the files. So I did 2 in one day. I've got the poster. The poster's proof. It's called Training Days, which is like Potter Paper's album. Who's one of my favourite UK rappers. It was called Training Days, and I were headline, and then I were co-headline underneath. I were in both, you know, like the main and the co-main event on top of, and I smoked both of them in the same day. But the files were corrupt, man, and it were gutted because I had some really good fucking material.
That's mint, brother. That's mint.
And then, but I only had a run for like 2 years. So I started in 2020. I did 2 battles in 2020, my tryout, and then the one with, he's called Just Dale or something now. That rapper Dale, but he's changed his name that many times. But I had a battle with him, and it was a close one, but I did take it according to an opinion. And then I had the battle where I lost, and then I had the fuck up where I didn't turn up. I had a lot of shit going on in my personal. I lost a lot of friends. I made a song called Grieving. I named everybody, about 7-8 people in 2 or 3 years
that had passed
away, bro. Yeah, like my best mate died, and I got blamed for it. You know, like
that's heavy.
So that's when I was fucking sorting myself out, and I went to doctors and said mushrooms, please. You know, like that.
Wow, so it sounds like it was raining and pouring in that period.
Crazy, bro, it's crazy. The things that went on. And then it didn't get better because like I had a baby, and then she ended up having major heart surgery. How many kids you got? Right. 3, mate. I'm nowhere near you. You know, we've got 3. Wi-Fi in our house. You're on 6, aren't you?
6, mate. Yeah, 6 girls.
I've got 3 girls, mate. So it's similar, and I bet you feel the same. Like I love them all to pieces, and I love it. But do you know, like if you have boys. You see my next door neighbour's got boys, and I see him like playing football and doing boxing, and with me I'm playing with dolls, and you know what I mean, I'm dressing them, you know.
It's harder to relate to them.
It is what I mean? We do it though, we do it.
Yeah, I remember one time she had a knee surgery, and I had to look after him for a few days on my own. That were an eye-opener, mate, when you just go to do a simple thing like brush their hair.
Oh, mate.
What the fuck? That's like an algorithm. I was looking at what's in the equation. I'm thinking what, and I'm ringing her, messaging her. She's in hospital. What do I do here? What do I do?
How do you do it?
Mate, it's just different. You know, with a lad, you know, don't you? You know, it's almost like second nature. That paternal instinct kicks in, doesn't it? But with the girls, it is harder. But Mate, them girls love them to bits, mate. Honestly, mate, fucking hell.
And you've got 6,
well, I've raised them. They're not mine scientifically, but I've raised them. So the 3 youngest were babies when I got with the mum. I've been with her nearly 10 years now. So the 3 youngest were babies. The 3 eldest were their own little people when I come on the scene. The twins were young, but the 2 twins, Sky and Tia, they're identical twins, but class, mate, character. But they've all took to me. Do you know, the eldest call me dad. The 3 youngest, I can tell they kind of look, but their dad's still... I've got a small input. I'll not bash him on here, not slate. He probably won't watch it either way, mate. But the guy's, he's got some. How can I put it? As a man, he's got stuff that remains to be seen. Anyway, he needs. He's got, he's got to fix up, mate. Basically, but it's affected my little ones. But mate, it's taught me a lot as well. Because, like I say, raising girls, it has taught me a lot. They're very, very different to boys. Very different to boys. Their own little. Bunch of problems that come with them when they start to go through them changes, mate, and I've seen it with all of them, but life's for learning, isn't it, mate? And I wouldn't change them for the world, but they've all gone through their own little transformations and that, but they're getting to that age now where they're going to be leaving. Like Amy's her own, she's in Tenerife now, I think she's back today, my eldest. I'm well proud of her, mate. She's really fucking turned into a well-adjusted young woman, and I'm well proud of her. And even Scar, she's just been over in Italy as a mechanic doing an apprenticeship over there, and she's sorting her life out. She's dating, and they're coming to that age now. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna start fleeing the nest and that.
But, mate, that's what I'm scared.
It's scary though, isn't it? It's scary, isn't it, brother? It's
scary. But when you get there, obviously, like me and my missus, we've got 2 together, and they're both similar age. They're both under 5 years old. But I've got an 11-year-old who I have had the majority of I don't know what the word is, custody for all of her life, pretty much. You know what I mean? Now she's in secondary school. She's over with her mum. She lives in a different part of like the northwest, and so she travels here once a week during the week. I've got to
still get to see her.
I see her on weekends normally, but she's gone on that camping trip that everyone's gone on. So my missus like looks at like one of her own. You know, I know damn well that my kids are all alright with my missus that I've got. You know, like
that's good.
I've got it made, me, bro. I've got it like proper old-fashioned fucking man and wife and fucking kids.
How it should be, bro. That's
we do have a couple of arguments and shit. And sometimes she does need to like tell me, pull your finger out, come on, start helping out a bit. I do get a bit complacent. But it's how it should be, and the kids, like, I do interact with my kids, I play with them, I take them places, but I can't mother them, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm a man. I'm the one that you come to. I'm the one that you should be running away from when you've done something wrong. I come in and go, what's going on in here then?
I'm the one that gives you the ideals and make sure that you the way you think and your train of thought.
That's it, and how to respect yourself and how to, you know.
That's it. There's a different touch from both sides.
I'll get my nails painted off them, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'll sit there and I'll do all that.
You're involved, you're in, lad.
My 11-year-old, she comes back from school to here, and then the next morning I've got to get up like really early to get her on the bus to get back to school. And she made that decision because do you know what I mean? She said, I want to do that, that's what I want to do. So that's why that goes on. I wouldn't never say you can't come here, but I do say to her, if you want to stay at your mum's just so you don't have to get up at that time in the morning. She's like, no, I'm going to come and see you. And then she comes after school on Friday all the way till she goes to school from here on Monday. So I've still got like half the week, but it's changed now. I used to have a Monday to Friday, before I got with my missus and had my kids. So my life was, I had my child Monday to Friday, which kept me sane through all the madness anyway. But then I had the weekends to myself, bro. And I was a single bachelor. You know what I mean? I had a bit of cash.
Probably worst thing for us, mate. Worst thing for us.
Don't get me wrong, I had a good buzz, but I got with my missus. I realised what's more important. Do you know what I mean? Like,
how old are you now, Rez?
33 now, me, bro. So I'm learning. You know what I mean?
Like, that age, bro. I'm 38, so you start to. It's mad. I always go back. I remember that episode on Friends where they're all sat there in their late 20s and they're all knackered and they're like, fuck this, we can't be asked going out clubbing now. Like, that was so loud in there. And I remember that laugh, I look like that, I'm thinking, fucking hell, what? Well, I've got to that age where I'm like, I value the more mundane stuff. What we look at as mundane, spending time with family. I used to overlook stuff like that. Blink, you miss it, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, now I look back to them being babies and I think, oh, good with that there, the memories and Shakespeare and stuff like that. You don't even realise that's the good stuff.
The saying goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
We're all chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow sometimes. Even this, where you think that your content, and we've got to be careful not to get lost in it. So that we fucking, before you know it, we're that lost in it that,
mate,
I've got it going on now.
It's already causing me problems. You know, me and my missus have sat down and we've had a big discussion about compromise, because I threw myself so far, and I'm telling her, just trust me, give me 6 months, give me 8 months, and just trust me, I've got this vision, I can see what's going to happen, you just can't see it yet. No, you're not doing anything for us, you're busy doing this. And it's like, yeah, but you've got to treat it like a job. She's like, a job's 9 to 5, you're on this from when you get up to when you get, I'm building something. And then we ended up sitting down and I said, no, you're all right, I am giving it too much. I'll take it back a step now. I've got my content, what I needed, I've got my head.
Yeah.
Right, I'll slow it down a bit. So I took my foot off a bit, I get involved, I've got like, not a schedule, but I make sure I spend a certain amount of time with my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
this
then
is where I'm learning, I need to get there. But that conversation you've had, I've had with my missus, and we have it every year or two. I remember having this convo years ago, because we were living off her money for the first few years. It was rough, mate. And I said to her, I said, babe, I said, trust me, it will come good. I said, that exact thing you said, that then my brain went back, my memory banks took me back to that, talking 8 years ago now. And I said, babe, trust me, stick with me, this will come good. And funny enough, COVID is what happened, and that's where isolation, I thrive in that, me. So I reckon I'd be alright in Nick and that. I don't want to go there, but I reckon I'd be alright, because I thrive in isolation.
And you can handle it,
so I'm just fucking, I loved, like, it was weird. I mean, Danielle saying, fucking, is all you ever do Shadowbox? You'd send me to make a brew and I'd be gone for 25 so like, I remember Curtis saying, my coach and manager, fucking love that guy. Shout out to Curtis Cagano. He's got his own problems and that. They've been well documented, so he won't mind me touching on that briefly. But his dad fought Nazim Ahmed. His dad was a legend. He's dead now, God rest him. Des, I never had the pleasure of meeting Des, wounded, but he died in 2010. My dad died in 2011, They died just a year apart, even less, but of Italian descent. But he was my coach and manager. Fucking hell, man, what he did for me as well. He had his faults, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of shit wrong. I'll not go into it, like I say, but that guy, what he taught me as well, what he gave me as well, fucking brilliant, mate. Like, honestly, like, fucking class. I don't regret a single thing, mate, even though, like I said, there was a lot wrong. There's some funny stories, mate, I could tell you about my pro career.
Them hiccups and slip-ups, they become the best memories, innit?
100%. You know, and Baz Neal, another man, I need to shout out to my first mentor in this game and that, who told me, he said, listen, kid, he said, everything, no matter what, good or bad, is an experience. You'll look back in 6 years, 7 years, and you'll smile. And I do it right now. We'll be like, I'll be sat there this morning, I'm sat like, I'm looking back, and I remembered Somerset, me and him in Somerset. We ended up going down there last minute, took a fight on, went on the train, took a fight on, ended up in a hotel, and both woke up. Mattresses tipped over, 2 empty bottles of vodka, no recollection of anything that's happened. Woman banging on door to chuck us out, nearly filling taxi driver in because he were like doing our wedding. Baz was going, listen, mate, I know, mate, and you look back and you got a smile, you think that was beautiful. I went to Malta, got robbed, didn't get paid, nearly got arrested in Malta. My missus, fucking horrible, I love it. I said, I love it. It was an experience, and I ended up going around Malta getting blazed out my tree with loads of Maltese people in Marsaskala. Beautiful,
that's
mate.
The kind of shit though, isn't it?
Beautiful, mate. You got to just look at everything.
That's that thing about being a fucking strong-minded individual. You know, like I know that you're, because of everything, you beat addiction. Not only that, you turned into like one of the fucking biggest journeymen.
Yeah. I'm probably one of the best UK producers of the modern era. I'm blowing smoke up my own backside.
I told you, didn't I? I watched a few of your documentaries. Like, I seen the one with Danny Christie.
Yeah, you know, brilliant podcast that with Danny. I really enjoyed it as well.
Everybody who I've met as well, they speak highly of you, mate. You are a predominant figure in this scene, and that's what I was saying before. Like, you know, you're saying now is your time to relax, but you're not relaxing. You're still doing it all. Do you know? But you've got that mindset.
I'm myself sometimes, Raz. You know, I'm a glutton for punishment as well, brother. But it's been.
Well, you must be to be going in there and fighting, mate. You know, like this is
some of them sit like, if you look, it's food for thought. I think I've mentioned it before anyway. But like, for people who don't realise how good journeymen are. So Joe Calzaghe, everyone knows Joe Calzaghe.
He's my favourite.
And you can check this out, this is a fact, you can check this out. So Joe Calzaghe, in like a 15-16 year career, did 230 something rounds. I did only 17 rounds less than him in 18 months.
That's crazy.
Food for thought there, for people who don't realise that's how many rounds I put in that short period of time. And not only that, mate, they were having a full camp for me. I was fighting 3 times a month, and I was turning them over. Scottish Championship, I was beating them, mate. A lot of them, they won't see him on YouTube. Max Lavelle, Southern Area Champion, I walloped him. There was quite a few, I won't mention all the names.
They are all out on YouTube.
No,
they're not out on YouTube.
You won't find them. You won't find me versus Ryan Pocock. Sorry, pal, but I beat you. You won't find me versus Max Lavelle. Sorry, pal, beat you. You won't find me versus Carl Boyd. Sorry, pal, beat you. You won't find them.
Is that because of like, because you obviously clearly won the fight and they don't want.
Well, they've kind of gone on. They've kept the raw by giving them that dubious decision. If they show that, people go, hold on a minute, that journeyman who was 1-25 beat him.
Yeah.
So they might not get that contract or that TV deal or whatever it is they're trying to achieve.
So that's the kind of shit though that, like, I know I don't want you to slate the game at all. I think you fucking are a pillar of the game.
One more of them and I'm out.
You're right, mate. These are for you. These are for the guests. Yeah, there's a shot left in it.
Might start coming out and that. Can I partake?
Yeah, you take that last bit, bro, and then
I'll partake. I'll partake. Won't be out after my basic promoters won't see it. It's all good.
If there's a full shot there, you might as well.
Thanking you.
No, you're welcome, my brother. But
appreciate it.
Like I said, I don't want you to slate the game at all. I do think that you are a pillar of the foundation, especially the unlicensed scene that I've entered into and seen. You know, like there's a few of yous that genuinely are the backbone of it, man. Do you know, like there's other promoters that are just in it for the money.
100%.
There's a lot of promoters actually. I'm not going to get into it because I do plan on getting booked and shit. But you know,
to be fair, mate, a little bit of a.
But yeah, I seen your status. You said about Snake. This is what I wanted to get. I don't want you to obviously fucking do yourself a disservice, if you will, by going down the rabbit hole too much. But I did want to touch on the snakes in the fucking grass, the situation on the
best saying I've ever heard it resonate with me. You don't have to kill the rattlesnakes, you just have to know where they are. I can hear the rattle. Now my problem with the boxing industry is this: your field, any field you look at, plastering, rap bar, anything you look at, most industries, trades, whatever. If you're a plasterer, you have to be good at plastering.
Yeah.
If you're a bricklayer, you have to be able to lay brick. In boxing, people are coming into it that haven't got the credentials or their accolades, but yet they're still jumping the queue and they're still going, well, I am now a promoter, I am now a fighter, I am this and that. And I've got nothing against them. I'm coming in trying to do what they're trying to do. But
like Jake Paul, like we said before, I respect the guy for what he's done, the money he's made. But at the same time, I see the damage he's done to the already tarnished fucking boxing name, the British boxing name especially, bro.
Brother, 100%. It's a tough one because I'm in a bit, like I said before, I think it's some half English, half Irish. I'm in conflict with myself. But I sometimes, honestly, mate, I think it is, mate. So I'm in conflict with myself. But sometimes I have opinions and I think, come on, shit, it's like I'm arguing with myself. Sometimes twisting the logic. Do you know, like I'll see that and then I'll see it and I think, well, is it that bad? A good example of this, pros and cons, I teach my clients this in the gym, pros and cons, when to apply yourself in what scenario. So my kids have never ever sat and watched boxing with me, not one bit of interest. Jake Paul, KSR, Jake Paul, I can't remember Jake Paul box now, I think it might have been Tommy Fury. Every one of my kids was sat with me.
Yeah.
Ever look round me out my front room was full because Jake Paul was on. My kids knew Jake Paul was.
So he's bringing.
Thought, is it a bad thing? Yeah, just that little moment. And I thought, well, hold on a minute. All my kids are sat here watching. They might end up watching boxing now. They haven't, but they could have done. And I'm thinking they're all sat watching. I thought, is it that bad a thing that he's doing? You know, it's entertainment. It's a show business.
Then
isn't it?
On the flip side of that, though, Seamus, then you walk into the gym and say your best client, the one that you think he's got the fire, or she, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, true that.
But nobody has a fucking clue who they are, you know what I mean?
True. I've got one now and I'm going to give them a shout out as well. I like to give people a lot of shout. I've also got the sponsors' logos on here as well.
And I did do for the first time ever.
TKO Fight Game got you in there, Carl.
We got pretty much all of it. If I've missed anybody, that's not his fault. He did send me all of them, but like
CGM Fitness, Colin McCaster,
I'm learning about the editing, so if I've done it wrong, but this is going to be a thing from now on. Oh, there's mine, look. Hey.
Not frightened.
But right, Seamus, we are coming to the end now, I think, of this podcast. I want to retouch on that though, because I did jump in again, but
no problem.
Yeah, so the snakes in the grass, man. Give us a bit of insight to, because you are a well-rounded player, mate. You've been everything in the sport.
This is my personal feelings, and I'll use this clip for Facebook. No, we're joking. I'll definitely use some of the clips, but no, I think what it is at the minute, mate, this is my honest opinion. I'll never ever take on or adopt a victim's mentality. But the last year has taught me a lot about the human condition and people. Stuff I already knew, reiterated lessons to be fair, but sometimes you need them to smack you in the chops a few times before you go, yeah, we're still there. But I'm probably one of the most dodged and non-supported guys ever. It's hard to say it without fucking sounding like it. So there's a lot of lads who do not support me in my local area, Padiham and Burnley. There's a lot of things that happened recently that make it evident that that's the case. I don't want to go too far into it, but I don't get the support from the people locally. Padiham and Burnley, that's my town, they're my sort of people. I put Padiham on the map in boxing. That's never ever been announced on Sky Sports before, Padiham. The guy even said, do you mind if we say Manchester? I said, no, sir, Padiham. I'm from Padiham, Lancashire. That's the only time that Padiham, Lancashire has been announced on Sky Sports, mate. I put it on the map. Not one iota. Even when I boxed on Gorilla, no one made a bit of noise, didn't share the post, didn't come to the fight. I had one of my day ones, my 2 originals from day one with me. Nobody was there supporting me. Same with my shows, people that weren't turning up, close friends and family, other people from outside not supporting it, but then you'll see them at other venues pushing it. It's a very selfish game, mate. It's a very fickle game. The first thing that you've got to do is don't take anything personal. That's what you've got to understand. This is business. Even some of the stuff that's happening now, I think, fucking hell. But then I think, don't take it personal. This is business. It's a dog eat dog, and sometimes the bigger teeth, in a metaphor here, the dog's teeth, it's not about, like they'll say, dog eat dog, who's got bigger teeth. Well, the bigger teeth aren't necessarily your credentials or your accolades. Your bigger teeth usually means who's got the bigger wallet in this game. So there's no one stopping anyone from coming into it and just going, I'll throw some money at this and bang. I mean, and there it is. You've got a promotion, you've got something going, but I'm not here to slate anyone, mate. I tip my hat to anyone doing what they're doing, and you know what? There's some good promotions out there on the way up, mate. There is. I don't think there's any of the promotion. Even don't like the promoters, apart from one, Lee Sibley. Fucking guys had people off and that, mate. What a shit house. But anyway, everyone else that's about on the scene at the minute, whether I agree with, I like them as a person or what, the shows are decent. And I've liked every single one of them, and that's just a fact. I've enjoyed them all.
You're a man who's been around for 12 years now on the scene, boxing, 26 to 38.
So I was 27 and a half when I started the journey, about 10 years. Just over 10 years,
I'm
mate,
a man who's been on the scene less than 10 months. Obviously,
That's mad, it feels like you've been around longer. What's going
crazy,
on
that, isn't it? It's fucking
weird,
mental.
bro.
We've done a lot. But my point is, I've attended a lot of shows now, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah. You're a bit of a chameleon, aren't you? Do you know, like you can
social chameleon, me.
Social chameleon. Your man said you can blend into different areas.
What I describe myself, me, is as a mirror. You know what I mean? I am with you how you are with me. That's how it is. You know, because there's a lot of people who will go off. So say if you fuck someone over or piss someone off when you
they'll inherit that beef.
They'll tell someone probably who's never met you, and that person will keep that and they'll hold it, and they don't even know who you are. So when you finally cross paths,
he's not so bad. Yeah.
He's a bit of a.
Automatically think you're a dickhead. Yeah.
And so if you're acting like that with me, I'll act the same with you, and that's why I get in so many situations as well. It's a good thing.
You seem jovial, mate. You seem jovial. You seem like a decent character. Wilkinson, shout out to him, one of my best clients at the minute. And if he weren't in his 40s, I'd turn him pro, mate. He were a good football back in the day, and he said Seamus, because he's a bit of an hard man as well. He's known for it. He said Seamus, I didn't realise how ineffective I was at fighting until I started this, brother. He went, mate, you realise that it's humbling, innit?
It's properly humbling,
most of us are pussycats, mate.
Oh no, mate, this is another thing.
We really are, mate. They were pussycats, sensitive souls, mate. I'm telling you, a lot of us are quite frail mentally as well when you get past that surface.
Liam McDonough's told it to me best. He said this is why he loves this scene. Everybody in it's broken, but the right kind of broken. I like
that.
I like
Liam,
it.
I like that.
I do like.
I always said this is my favourite thing that I ever heard, and I thought this was just resonated with me. The bare knuckle and the boxing game has a gravitational pull for lost souls. Yeah. And I thought, fucking wow, that's powerful. And it's so true, mate. Gravitational pull for lost souls, and that pulls us in. It's the lost and found.
It is, man. It's
society loses it, that finds it, mate, and we're there. We end up fucking there. But I'm so glad I did.
And
that's why we're sat here now having this discussion.
Think about where you would be. I think we both know, subconsciously deep down, we both know where you would be if you didn't make that decision that day, yeah?
Massive. Probably Noddy,
That's what I'm saying.
Jail, street corners.
Something bad, bro, yeah? But instead, you know what I mean, man? People speak and hold your name in high regard. Everybody who I've talked to. We've got a special guest appearance, man.
Oh, Mr. Faye. Jack Faye is in the house.
You staying in there? Come on say hello quick.
Son, get on.
We're nearly finished.
Yes, we're not seeing one.
Jack Faye's in the fucking building.
He's in the house. Get off podcast. I've got 2 ways.
Right, Jack, honestly, we've been recording for a good hour and a half, maybe longer. We're going to wrap up soon, bro. You're more than welcome to pull up that chair. But
I'll keep quiet in here, do you think?
Right, sound, Jack. Yeah, we'll chat to you soon.
Boss, top man. Good to see you, Jack, lad.
That was a surprise. I'll probably keep that in.
Surprise. Keep it in, 100%.
Right, so we're keeping that in. But Seamus, he did throw me off track a bit because I wasn't expecting him to come. So that is a genuine truth. Can you remember what we were talking about?
You know what, mate? I think it's fucking gone there.
It's gone for me as well.
Oh, it's gone, mate. It's gone. Definitely too neurodivergent.
I tell you what, bro, we've got a good amount of content already.
That might have been our cue to wrap it up. So Jack was our ranger.
Last question for you then. Well, not a question so much as I want you to tell me in as much detail as you can about this next upcoming Northwest Boxing promotion.
Oh, glad you asked me, brother.
Yeah.
Glad you asked me, because I've got to plug that. I want to shout out to my team as well, the people that work on the scenes with me, Jay Lamb, the referee, Sammy Morris, who's our fight liaison, and Ratwoman, Dave Cook, the cut man, everyone. There's too many people to mention, but this next one for Northwest Boxing Promotions is going to be a different level. The doghouse rules concept is something that's not really been done before, especially in that way.
But it's amazing. I will vouch for it ringside. It's fucking fantastic to
electric.
watch.
And the names we're getting on. There's 2 today that we're going to get over the line. Can I mention them?
I'd say yeah, because this is 3 weeks in front.
Of course. So Scott McHugh, Luke Dyson, both on the card.
Oh, I thought you were going to say fighting each other.
No, they're both on the card, both in K1 bouts, doghouse. So both are fighting till the end, no time limit, and they're both against decent names.
Nice.
So it's going to be class, and we've got some big ticket sellers on. It's looking unreal. It's looking unreal. And I think this is precisely why some people are trying to throw sticking smokes, mate. But this is the business we're in, mate. So shout out to all the promoters out there, good or bad or indifferent. Yeah. Let's have it. Bye.
Anything else before we say goodbye? You want to shout out your sponsors? You want to do anything? Listen, we will get a part 2, probably a part 3, 4, 5.
I'd love that, mate.
But if we're wrapping it up, you can end it any way you want. There's no whiskey left, so I can't do it my way.
It's all good. Shout out DB Painting and Decorating, Blissful Advance. Shout out All Things Inflatable, Gio's Decorating, Gio, what a guy, Gio Vasile, what a guy, Andy McManus, Joe Bailey. These guys have been unreal with me, mate. Like, if it wasn't for these guys, I'd have struggled with the show, I'd have struggled with a lot of stuff, mate. They've really helped me with supplements, financially, all sorts. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the lads at the gym as well. Danny Lewis, Scott Yowds, Jason Eseltine, Anthony Lord. There's too many to mention, mate. We'll wrap it up there. Shout out to the fellas. Bosh.
Seamus, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Been a pleasure, man.
This has been the B.A.D podcast.
God bless people.
Another casualty.